So we'll be back, and I'm going to put you on hold, but we'll be back in 2 minutes, folks.
Check out Night Dream's website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com.
Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
You're listening to my friend Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio, the best in paranormal radio.
Well, thank you, John Cleese, for that nice presentation. We're talking to Preston Dennett. We're going to be talking about his book, Inside UFOs, True Accounts of Contacts. Hey, Preston, you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. What made you decide on this book? Because, you have done a lot of good books on UFOs.
Yeah, gosh, it's like 12, 13 or something like that. And, I've been researching this subject for a very long time, and I got hooked on writing these UFOs over various state books. I felt like compelled to do it because I felt like a lot of UFO history was being lost. And, people weren't going to be able to dig up this information. I was subscribing to the UFO News Clipping Service way back, when we had newspapers, and all these reports from old books and stuff. And I wrote this book, UFOs Over California, followed by New York, because I wanted this subject to be taken seriously. And so I really felt it was important to write these sort of history books and get that going. And now a number of other researchers are taking that up for their states. So I think this is a great step in making this subject more acceptable, more mainstream, and getting some real attention paid to it. But I was, had all my own cases. Those books drew on a really wide net of research. As like this UFO healing book is not just my stuff. The Undersea UFO Base drew on a lot of accounts from other UFO researchers as well. But this book, Inside UFOs, which is really one of my most popular right now, draws on solely my own cases. None have ever been published before, and I wanted to sort of pull out the best of the cases that I've got in, my case files, I guess, that were kind of, extensive maybe, or a little bit different than your average abduction and examination by grays, because that's what I was found is actually happening. It's not just about being abducted by grays. I got cases involving a wide variety of humanoids, and I really wanted to bring out new information that I felt was relevant and, would enhance our understanding of the ETs and their agenda on our planet. So it's a real personal book, kind of, and because it's all my own cases and No one's ever heard him before.
Oh, wow. Now, how do you find out all these people that have been abducted? How do you find them? Do they find you, or how do you do it?
I would swear in some cases the ETs lead me to them. And some weird coincidences, like at the post office and things like that. And I mean, a lot of ways, certainly. I've been researching this for a long time, so I have a sort of a wide network of friends of friends, and that sort of thing. I get a number of referrals that way. I do a lot of speaking on this subject, so appearing on a show like yours might generate a number of emails, or people interested in this subject certainly and wanting to share their story. When I speak on this publicly at conventions, pretty much without exception, people come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, what you said, that happened to me." That's exactly how I got one of the stories in Inside UFOs. I was lecturing down in San Diego about a case involving praying mantis type ETs, and a guy in the audience was just freaking out. He's like, "Oh my gosh, that's what I saw. It's not quite like that. They looked a little different. And they were much taller." But yeah, that's how I got his case. But here's a good example. I'm at work. I work as a bookkeeper, haven't for a long time in this company, and there's been a large turnover over the years. And one time this lady walks into my office, Connie. I've known her for years and years, really, and I'm not super vocal about my UFO research at work. Certainly I don't hide it, but I'm not like preaching or anything. And Connie walks into my office, and I had just been given a gift of a gray alien statuette, a tiny little 4-inch statue, which I placed on my desk. And she sees it and just shrieks. She's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's a gray alien. I mean, what do you mean, what is that? Haven't you heard of these?" And she's like, "Oh my God, well, no. I mean, I saw one when just after I had my baby." So here, this kept happening. I would run into people who I knew and trusted, and for a long time, and they had these secrets that they weren't talking about. That's one of the first things out of people's mouth often when they have a really extensive experience. They start giving caveats like, I've never told this to anyone. I've got a good education. I don't do drugs. I've got no history of mental illness in my family, just saying. And she's telling me this story, which is in the book, but in brief, she had just had her son. He was maybe 2 weeks old, sleeping in the same master bedroom with her husband and her. And she wakes up because she hears this squeaky sound, like someone washing dishes and cleaning a glass is what it sounded like, squeaky fingers on glass. And she leans up and looks over at the window. It's a big picture window. It's fixed into the wall. You can't open it. And this gray ET, 6 foot tall, is trying to open it. Can't figure it out. It's looking at her baby, and it's very interested in her brand newborn. And it's looking at the mobile that's hanging above it, seemed interested in that, and then back down at the baby and trying to get at this window. So it had suction cups on its fingers, which I thought was really interesting because I never hear that. Almost never, but I certainly know of a few cases. And that was very rare, so I wanted to include that because this is unusual behavior for a gray. Why isn't it walking through the wall? That sort of thing, which is what we usually see. So it turns, looks at her, they lock gazes, and this thing slams her down into the bed with some force, some mental force perhaps. She didn't see anything in its hand, and she can't, she's now paralyzed, can't move, she can't cry out, she can feel the water streaming from her eyes, her tears, and is just scared to death for her baby. Thankfully, this ET just walks away at some point, gives up. She jumps up and screams, scoops up her baby, tells her husband what happened. He says, "You had a nightmare." She says, "I sure didn't." That was real, and I staked my life on it. And that morning she left. She's like, "I'm not staying here," and went to stay with her mother's. Finally came back only on the condition that her husband bought guard dogs. And he's like, "What is going on?" She says, "I want to move."
I don't
and
blame
they
her.
did. They ended up moving over this. She has no history of UFO contact. This is a drive-by ET encounter. or something. Her son, who was the target, is now an adult, has never had an experience. Does not, of course, remember the ET staring down at him.
That's unusual, too, because, all the reports I had, for all the years of broadcasting, like the ETs, the Greys would just like walk right through the wall or come right through the window, without no hesitation.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to open a window, which actually, didn't open. So it was weird for sure. And she didn't see a UFO, hard to say what was going on here, but I do know that this case is one I've seen before where ETs show up at the moment of, someone's newborn baby. A typical case. This lady came to my office. She only worked for a few days before I cornered her and asked her about, UFOs. I was pretty aggressive at that time. This was in my earlier investigative years. And she's like, yeah, this weird thing happened to me. She's driving down La Cienega Boulevard here in L.A., and if you know La Cienega, it is pretty much always crowded. It's not an empty road. It's very busy. And she says suddenly she got very spooked because there were no cars around her. And she was like completely freaking out because it was basically impossible. It was, during the afternoon. So there had to be cars around her. When this grapefruit-sized ball of lights drops down out of the sky and starts circling her car right in front of her windshield. And she's freaking out because guess what? She is 9 months, literally, pregnant. She's ready to pop. Her baby is due. And this thing shows up. I'm like, well, here we go again. I've seen this a million times.
Oh, wow.
They're very interested in reproduction. I see it, before someone's pregnant, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, after someone has their baby. And this happened to my sister, of all people. She had just had her baby. And this UFO showed up outside her window here in Topanga Canyon. I'm like, what, Valerie, why didn't you call me? She said, I didn't want to sound scared. And I'm like, well, were you? And she's like, well, it was watching me, and it wouldn't go away, and I know it wasn't a helicopter. And it was moving in strange patterns. It had all the earmarks. So this does go into my family a little bit, certainly. As far as I know, no one in my family has been abducted, but my sister-in-law had a face-to-face encounter with Greys. So,
wow.
Gosh.
How did she respond to that?
This was back before it was publicized really at all, so she didn't think ETs initially, certainly. She's walking down Stagg Street in front of an elementary school at night near her house with her dog. She's taking just a short walk outside her house and she saw her children. She's like, her first thought was, well, it's 11 o'clock at night. These children should not be out. And boy, they're bald. That's weird. And they sure look strange. And gosh darn it, they're wearing olive green jumpsuits. Are they, do they have masks on? And by this point, she's right up, 10 feet away from them. They're under a spotlight, a street light. Actually, it's the school courtyard light. And she can see them perfectly and just gives a description of typical gray ETs. Large head, large dark wraparound eyes, but really described this olive green jumpsuit in detail with that sort of mandarin collar, she said, and sleeves, and just described it very vividly.
Did she say how tall they were, out of curiosity?
Yeah, just under 5 feet, she thought. It was hard to tell because she thought they might have been floating, the way they kind of turned and swiveled and looked at her. And her dog was with her. Her dog didn't react. She didn't want to run away. She had actually gone out and she saw a shopping cart, and she was going to take the shopping cart home. So she's pushing this shopping cart, going click, 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 right in front of them. She's looking at these things, and they're looking at her. She's like, oh, my God, they're not human. That was pretty much as far as she really wanted to take it. She didn't want to, because she didn't know what they were. She takes that shopping cart and ditches it and walks home as fast as she can. She didn't look back.
Well, I wouldn't blame her. I mean, I tell you, I'm old. I'm 67 and I'm fat and I got a bad leg. But I tell you what, I'd waddle out of there as fast as I could without looking back.
I don't know. Now, me, not sure what I would do. Not sure I would walk away, Gary. I'd probably stay and see what happened. I asked her if anything happened. She's like, no messages that she's aware of. She didn't have missing time. She couldn't be